Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 25, The Glories of Devotional Service. Texts 6 and 7. 6 has no purport, so I will read it by myself. Tamasinam akarmanam tattvamargagradarshanam swasutam devahutyaha dhatu samsmarati vachaha. Translation. When Kapila, who could show her the ultimate goal of the absolute truth, was sitting leisurely before her, Devahuti remembered the words Brahma had spoken to her, and she therefore began to question Kapila as follows. Text 7. Devahuti ruvacha nirvinnanitaram bhuman asadindriya tarshanat yena sambhavymanena prapannandham tamah prabho. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Devahuti said, I am very sick of the disturbance caused by my material senses, for because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Here the word Asad Indriya Tarshanat is significant. Asat means impermanent, temporary, and Indriya means senses. Thus, Asad Indriya Tarshanat means from being agitated by the temporarily manifest senses of the material body. We are evolving through different statuses of material bodily existence, sometimes in a human body, sometimes in an animal body, and therefore the engagements of our material senses are also changing. Anything which changes is called temporary or asat. We should know that beyond these temporary senses are our permanent senses, which are now covered by the material body. The permanent senses, being contaminated by matter, are not acting properly. Devotional service therefore involves freeing the senses from this contamination. When the contamination is completely removed and the senses act in the purity of unalloyed Krishna consciousness, we have reached Sadindriya or eternal sensory activities. Eternal sensory activities are called devotional service, whereas temporary sensory activities are called sense gratification. Unless one becomes tired of material sense gratification, there is no opportunity to hear transcendental messages from a person like Kapila. Devahuti expressed that she was tired. Now that her husband had left home, she wanted to get relief by hearing the instructions of Lord Kapila. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport.
So in these verses we are seeing the context of Kapila Muni leisurely sitting in his hermitage, and the mother was seated before him. She recollected Brahma's words that her son Kapila is actually an incarnation of Vishnu. So she is now appealing to Kapila, Lord Kapila, Nirvinna Nitaram Bhuman. Bhuman means, oh my Lord, I am very disturbed by Asad Indriya Tarshanat, the agitations of my senses. And the senses themselves are asat. Asat means impermanent. After all, the body is asat. It has a time period to die. Certainly the senses also will be asat. So asat indriya tarshanat means from the pulling or the agitation of the senses. And she is saying, Nirvinna nitaram, I am very, very disgusted with all this. Yena sambhavyamanena prapanna. So she is saying, I am very sick of the disturbance caused by my material senses. Because of this disturbance, andham tama prabhu, I have fallen into tamaha andha. very abyss of ignorance. Andam Suprapanna. So she is saying, I have fallen into this kind of an abyss of ignorance. Now I am surrendering unto you. So this is the beginning of the conversation between Devahuti and Lord Kapila. The chapter is titled as Glories of Devotional Service. Although the question is about agitating senses and how to come out of those influence, ultimately you will see in this chapter Kapila explaining the glories of devotional service to Krishna. So here, Devahuti, the first observation is that she is frustrated, she is sick with this sensual agitations, asad indriya darshanat. So the indriyas, the body has indriyas, the eyes are there, the nose is there, ears are there, skin is there, tongue is there. So there are 5 senses which are for collecting information, knowledge acquiring. There are 5 more senses for working. So these 10 senses are always seeking engagements. Senses don't sit idly, always pulls. It always seeks engagements. This so one sense is pulling the person in one direction. Eyes are pulling us towards beautiful persons or beautiful things in this world. Ears are pulling us into good music, interesting musics. However nonsense it may be, it is very nice to hear. So ears are pulling us towards that. And then nostrils are seeking good smells, wonderful smells. And then the tongue is seeking good taste. The skin is wanting to touch the soft things. Like that, each of these senses are pulling the person in one direction. Out of all these senses, surprisingly the strongest, the most formidable sense is the tongue. Controlling the tongue or handling this tongue is most formidable. So this indriya darshana, these disturbances are there for everybody. Nobody is free from this except a pure devotee. So here Devahuti presenting herself as an ordinary person, she has appealed to Lord Kapila that I am Indra, Asadindriya Tarshana is disturbing me, Nirvinna, Nitaram. So when the disturbances come in life because of the senses or whatever way, she is immediately approaching a higher personality who can give knowledge to her, who can give a way out. Agitation could be asadhindriya darshana, it could be because of mind, it could be because of intelligence, whatever the agitations are there. Then one has to approach Guru. Tasmad Gurum Prapadhyeta. One has to approach a spiritual master for relief. And when you approach, you have to say, Prapanna, I surrender unto you. One has to approach the spiritual master with the mood of surrenderance. So in this world, everybody is embarrassed by this asadindriya darshana. Everybody is embarrassed. So Prabhupada says human life begins when one gets frustrated with this satisfaction of the senses, asadindriya darshana. As long as one is not frustrated or disgusted, he is leading an animal life. Animals are most comfortable in sense gratification. But a human being means, here we see Devahuti, Nirvinnanataram, disgusted with this. So this is appears to be very surprising to materialists because they always chase one after another satisfaction of the senses. They always chase. And they're so busy in chasing objects for, or victims for satisfying their senses that they're completely busy throughout the day. This is the scenario that we see. And what is the process to reduce this disturbance caused by the senses? Here Prabhupada is saying devotional service therefore involves freeing the senses from the contamination. The senses are currently contaminated by matter. We have to understand this basic philosophy. Otherwise, we don't understand these concepts at all. The basic philosophy is that we are not this body, we are a spirit soul. Spirit soul has spiritual body. Spirit soul has spiritual senses. But those senses are covered by this body. The spiritual body is covered by this material body. That is the duality in this world. What is the duality? The basic reason is this. We are originally having a spiritual body, but we are caught up in this material body. So the material bodies are covering the original senses. So when you try to enjoy, you are not able to enjoy the original senses. You are trying to enjoy the material senses which are false. For example, let us say you want to enjoy one gulab jamun, and you put it on the tongue, and immediately you will see the juicy, all the the pleasure sensations. Let us say some disease has come and the tongue is covered by one bandage. Doctor has put one bandage, let us say, and then you put rasgulla or gulab jamun. Same gulab jamun. You are covered. The tongue is covered by something else. So you don't get that original pleasure. Similarly, we have original senses. Spiritual senses are there, but they are covered by this body. Bandage. This body is actually a covering. The body itself is a problem. It's a covering. So this has to be recognized. So how do we get rid of this material influence? That is devotional service. Prabhupada is explaining here devotional service. Prabhupada is saying the permanent senses being contaminated by matter are not acting properly. The senses are there, but now currently they are covered by this matter. So they are not acting properly. Original senses are covered. So that's why what we are all enjoying is asadindriya, false, temporary senses. They are not our original senses. So much time, energy, everything we are investing, but what are we enjoying? It's only asadindriya, darshana, false senses. And Prabhupada explains what is this asat. Asat means anything which is temporary or anything which is changing. This is asat. When somebody is in an animal form, his senses work in certain way. In human form, works in certain way. So the engagements of the senses are changing. Life after life, life after life, within the same life, our engagements are constantly changing. That's why they are known as asat. Asatindriya darshana. So when the senses are engaged in Krishna's pleasure, that is called devotional service. And as we go on engaging our senses in Krishna's service, without any motivations, without any expectations, then the contamination and the disturbance slowly comes down. Indriya darshana, the disturbances will come down. This is the Rushikena Rushikesha Sevanam Bhaktiru Uchate. The definition is given. What is the definition of bhakti? Engaging the senses in the service of the master of the senses, Rushikesha. Rushika means senses. Engaging them in the service of the master of the senses. And that is who is Rushikesha? That is Krishna. So as soon as we start engaging the senses in the service of Rushikesha, then our devotional service begins. And what is the first, that most difficult sense is tongue. So that's why our bhakti starts by engaging the tongue in the service of the Supreme. And what is the tongue's function? So you can produce some sound. Okay, chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Whenever you feel like talking, producing some sound, don't produce nonsense. Chant Hare Krishna. And then whenever you want to eat something, then don't eat nonsense. Eat Krishna Prasad. If somebody can do this, what a tremendous progress. That is devotional service. So when you engage like that, the contamination will go away. The original sense also gets activated. There is no difference between this temporary sense and the original sense. Gets activated. The biggest enemy for engaging these senses in the service of the Lord is upadhi. Sarvopadhi vinurimuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rushikena rushikesha sevanam bhaktiruttama. If you want to engage the senses, what is the greatest enemy? It is upadhi. And what are these upadhis? I am a male, I am a female, I am an Indian, I am a Pakistani, I am a Hindu, I am a Christian, I am a Muslim. I am this, I am that, I am this. But who is thinking I am eternal servant of Krishna? That upadhi is our original upadhi. That we are not bothered. So as soon as we think that we are so and so, so and so, so and so, our sensual engagements will be diverted towards that upadhi. We develop emotions, we develop activities, everything centered around that upadhi. Let us say there is a Bhagavatam book icon is there on your mobile. That's an app, Bhagavatam. And next to it is the regular browser where you can see the regular mundane news. And let us say you are influenced by an upadhi, what will you click? You want to see what's happening between this and between that. Politically, nationally, in so many ways we get influenced because upadhis are controlling us. We take pleasure as an, as a this thing, as a that, some designation. I don't want to mention. We take pleasure in those designations. Let us say there is a match between, cricket match is going on between India and Pakistan. Let us say Indian man hits 6, immediately we are in the air. Pakistan fellow eats 6. We're in the ground. Why is that? What is acting here? Upadhi. I am identifying myself as an Indian, so I get elated when something comes in favor, and then I get distressed when something goes against. So this is the scenario. So our process is sarvopadhi vinirmuktam. You have to get rid of all these upadhis and attain our natural position as an eternal servant of Krishna. So that's why we should know the biggest enemy to engage in our devotional service to Krishna is these upadhis. So then you may say, so that's the broad level goal that we all have to have. An eternal servant of Krishna, how he has to behave, how he has to engage all these disturbances in Krishna's service, that is Guru. The spiritual master will guide us. There will be a lot of disturbances will come in our life. And we are not fully pure from this upadhi's influence. So there will be agitation, there will be disturbances. Now how to handle all these things? That is Guru, spiritual master will guide us. And in this world, you will see this world is a place of envy and hatred. Hatred. So much hatred will be all around us. This is the nature of this world. It is a very envious place. The envy begins with the envy of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. And that will be reflected in innumerable ways. We envy other jivas, we envy other human beings, we envy other area people, we envy other color people, we envy other religion people. So many ways we can envy. We can hate. Sometimes when I was in, I think Bangalore, I think there was some media, this thing that, some few people came from some northeastern states. And in a particular city, the regular locals, they're harassing them because they look completely different. They're teasing, they're harassing, and many things they're doing. So this bodily influence and bodily upadhis are not easy to get rid of. But Bhagavata Dharma means paramo nirmasaranam satam vastavam vastu shivadam. Bhagavatam is about getting rid of all this paramo nirmasarata. Masarata and nirmasarata. Masarata means envy. We envy. So let us say somebody has become devotee. Now he understands all this. I should not be identifying myself as one of the upadhis of this world. He understands. Then how do we handle all these disturbances that are coming all around us? We see so much of envy, we see so much of hatred, we see so much of cruelty, so much of violence, so much of this, so many things we are watching. Then how do we handle this? Can we be aloof from all this and just go on, neglect all these things and just go on? Whatever may happen, I am soul and Krishna is my Lord and I will render my service. Actually, if somebody can do that, he is already liberated. But no one can be free from these disturbances. Asadindriya darshana. So that's why we need Prabhupada, we need his instructions, we need his direction. So then, there is one more aspect is that as a movement, let us say, we are here in this material world, we have to run this institution in this material world. We cannot be closing our eyes to whatever is happening around us. That's foolishness. I am there, my Krishna is there, so I will chant Hare Krishna. No. you also have a responsibility to protect this institution. We cannot be living in that philosophy. Bhagavata philosophy also mentions how Parikshit Maharaj has handled these disturbing elements in the society. When Parikshit Maharaj was touring regularly his kingdom, wanting to see if there are any miscreants there. And one day he saw one man is beating the legs of the cow. He is beating, that's all, only beating the legs. Immediately Parikshit Maharaj confronts him. He takes out his sword and says, I am going to finish you off now, because in my kingdom, in this kingdom where Pandavas have ruled, my forefathers have ruled, that prestige I cannot allow you to destroy. Parikshit Maharaj is very concerned about the prestige of his forefathers and how this man is trying to disturb this. Immediately he wants to finish him off. Just beating the cows. Nowadays they send 10,000 cows per hour to slaughterhouse. Where is the Parikshit Maharaj? So now we see the ideal behavior of a ruler. If such an ideal ruler is there, let us say our organization is existing under Parikshit Maharaj, then actually we need not have to worry about enemies. We need not have to worry. Why? He will take care, we know. The ruler is capable, and they are driven by certain rules and guidelines, and we know he is a descendant of Pandavas. So there is a history, there is a past, there is a credibility. We know peacefully we can execute our Krishna consciousness. Actually that's the ideal life. But then we are now coming down to our situation currently. We are not in that Vedic times. We are not in the Vedic times. Now the governance is by people only. Governance by people, from people, to people, everything. That is called democracy. If something goes wrong, people are responsible. You cannot blame this ruler, that ruler, that ruler. All the people are responsible. This is the current system. Under the current system, now what is my responsibility to ensure that this institution's name and fame is not diluted? Like you see Parikshit Maharaj is worried about the yasha of the Pandavas. The name and fame of his forefathers who have so carefully established this kingdom, rooted in Vedic principles. But such thing in Kali Yuga is impossible. Now we are in a certain situation. Now within this situation, now in order to protect this institution from the possible enemies and this and that, how to do it? Again, we have to approach Prabhupada, spiritual master, and see what principles he has given to guide us. We have to see what is the guidance of the senior-most devotees who have handled all these things for years together. But while doing all these things, one thing that we have to do is, there should not be any envy, there should not be any hatred in our heart. Not easier. We know who is the enemy, but still we should not feel any hatred or this is the challenge. Varnashrama duties have to be done without attachment. This is Varnashrama. Kshatriya is a Varnashrama duty. All these duties have to be done without any. So this is the scenario. While executing our duties, we should see, is it helping me in progressing in Krishna consciousness? By handling all these things, we should see whether I am hating somebody or hating some living entity, or we have to see all this. Because the rule is, if you hate even one, you have to remain here. You may be very okay with 100 people, but one person, let us say you hate or you envy, then we have to remain. Andham tamaha, we have to remain in the andhakara. So if that is the kind of scenario, then what should I do? Yes, so that's why we have to carefully study Prabhupada's books, his letters, and see how he managed. Transcendentally he managed. His own disciples are creating troubles. He is not getting proper permissions from the governments. He is not getting proper support from his own God brothers. But how did Prabhupada manage to establish such a worldwide movement? See, he has already set an example. I don't think we are facing situations the way Prabhupada has faced the situation. We are actually very safe. Look at Srila Prabhupada, what kind of people he handled, particularly in beginning years. From beginning to end, he is handling very tough people. And they are all his disciples. Simultaneously, he is purifying them, engaging them in Krishna's service. And at the same time, he is also managing their weaknesses and their troubles. Without any hatred or this and that. So this is not easy. That's why it is Margarga Darshanam, ultimate goal of the absolute truth. How do I reach absolute truth in every situation? Not diverted by ignorance. We should be very careful. So, our ultimate goal is, we want to develop Krishna's love for Krishna. And if there are envy and hatred in the heart, how can you love? Let us say our heart is filled with hatred. How can you love anybody? You cannot love actually. So we have to be very careful in managing ourselves. It's a case to case, we have to take a decision and appropriately protect the organization. If it is required, we have to protect the organization by building up some protective measures. If it is required, we have to take some business measures to maintain the organization. If it is required, we have to enhance our preaching and this and that and create more followers. Like that, time to time, the leadership has to decide which is the most important aspect to build it up. Carefully one has to strategize and ensure that all these things are there in place. Preaching is required, protection is required, maintenance or business is required. All these things are required. As soon as some organization exists in this world, you need all these elements. You cannot say only preaching. Okay, then protection. If something goes wrong, okay, only protection and preaching. Then paisa chahiye, then you need that also. You need some hands also. So, very complex equations are available. We have to just depend on Guru and Krishna, do our duty. What is the worst case? Worst case is somebody may come and kill us. Right? Somebody may come and kill us. Let us say we killed all of them. There is nobody there to kill us. Can you remain alive? Let us say all those people have been killed. Now can you remain alive? So then death will come either through this enemy or through that enemy or through this circumstance or that circumstance, then what should I do? Chant more, do your devotional service more, do whatever Prabhupada is saying. Bharata Bhumite Janma ila Manushya yaar. Whoever has taken birth in India, they should perfect their lives and go on preaching. If fortunate people takes up these sentences from Bhagavatam, no, their hearts will change. Prabhupada has not discriminated. So many of Christians, so many Muslims, so many Buddhists, so many people have become his disciples. They accepted the absolute truth. This is Prabhupada's power. Our goal should be to reach out this message to as many as people, and fortunate people will accept. And look at the fortune of us. We already have this message with us. So now we should go deeper and deeper into this science. Become good scientists, become good preachers, good managers. Why? Because we have a movement to manage. So like that, a devotee doesn't take extremes. He sees, what is the most intelligent solution as of today. He also plans for long-term security, long-term protection, and he also plans for short-term security and so, all those things. We are not stuck with some philosophy like that. We have to see what is reality and accordingly take the next step. Ultimately, Shastras and everybody gives opportunity to protect ourselves. Whatever is needed, we have to do to protect ourselves. Okay, so we should not be in the death will come. How it will come, we don't know. It can come very cruelly also to us. Most cruel way we can die. Then what is the success then? While dying, if you can say Hare Krishna. In the most cruel way. What is the most cruel? That is one big lorry, a big vehicle just runs on somebody. Okay, somebody cruelly killing is one thing. Isn't it cruel? One big lorry with heavy luggage goes on somebody. Oh my God. Papad ban jayega. You are dying like that. Somebody. Anything is possible. So instead of securing by those kind of methods, secure your permanent life. We all have a permanent life. Make yourself progress as much as possible. 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%. In the next life you can finish it off. 70, 80, 90, finish it off. Sitting here and complaining and improving this world is useless. Oh, this world is cruel, this world is this world is that. Let me adjust this. You can't make any adjustment. Prabhupada gives an example. Let us say you are sitting in a toilet and say, smell is there. Always smell. Toilet means smell. If you say, no, my uddhar karunga. What development you can do in the toilet? Shastras are advising, come out of the toilet quickly. Very simple solution is available. But you are busy adjusting this fragrance, that fragrance. I'll make the situation nice here, nice there. Okay, so as long as we are there, we have to adjust to our best capacity, but focus on developing love for Krishna. Focus on enhancing our devotional mood to Krishna. And as part of your devotional service, let us say you have to work for the protection, yes, you do it. But without developing any enmity, without developing any hatred inside your heart. This is the challenge. Because the moment I develop any of these things, I have to remain here. One person also. I have to remain here. And then again my suffering continues. So that's why Devahuti, she is praying to Lord Kapila. Because this route is not easy. I have to do my duty, at the same time I should be free from hatred and enmity in my heart. Oh my God, how is this possible? Yes, we need a spiritual master. We are not saying you don't do your duty. No, you should do something to protect yourself and to protect your community and protect your nation. There is a place. We are not against any of those things. But while doing all that, are you developing attraction towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna or Vishnu? That is the consideration. We'll stop here. Any questions? Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.